conversation, Brenda just told your thought. Actually, on Tuesday, talking of sponsorship, I think KRU will be getting more sponsorship from one partner, and this is in the frame of the 2025 Kenya Cup season. This event will be taking place on Tuesday, and of course, Sasha will shed more light on that. But still staying on Kenya Cup, Kianda, I'll still stay with you. Your Cabras, I think you and Stera, you're laying claim to this team, Cabras, for, is it the fourth, fifth time in a row they're beating KCB? This was a match that was highly anticipated, and it's here we even saw KCB tap a specialist, so to speak, in the run-up to this game. If probably they could turn the tables, but still, I can say where I'm sitting without fear of doubt that Cabra is still going to win the Kenya Cup.
KCB, KCB ni mababi wa rugby. Ni mababi. Show of Nairobians. Cabras is fully professional. The fan base. Umaenda game ya KCB na Cabras Kakamega. My friend, hype inaanza 1 week before your game. Unaona? Watu wamekubali Cabras. Like it's our own. They own it. Unaona? But another thing I have to give up, to big up to Carlos Kaito. Continuity. At the way they tap talent and the way they partnered with teams, with schools. People like Kevin Wekesa, I think he came from Kakamega High School. I've spoken, Amos Omanga, the Kakamega High School head coach, he's my friend. Shimenga Libonda, I think, alienda abroad. Koyonzo, look at their partnership with Koyonzo, Kakamega High School, St. Peter's, Mumias, Mukumu, Chavakali, Vihiga. So wanajua. So if I've studied with this here and with the same team, tuchukuliana the same team, kutakuwa na continuity, progress. Unaona? That's the strength of Cabras. And those players have stuck together for quite some time. What makes Cabras better? There are only two teams that make them better. Menengai Oilers, the Rai Derby, and KCB.
Actually, there was thought that they could drop points at Menengai.
And when the day I knew KCB is not that good, it's overhyped. It's the day Menengai were missing 4 key players, but still took KCB to the wire. I think KCB won 27-25, if I'm not wrong. I see Menengai developing better and giving Cabras a run for their money as compared to KCB. KCB had everything. Giving
KCB their credit, at one point they were too dominant until the question was, who's going to stop this out?
Yeah, because they have money to buy the best players. Look at all those clubs that are dominating Kenya Cup. They have sponsors. It's not an equal playing field. Menengai have a sponsor. Cabras have a sponsor. KCB have a sponsor. You will always get the best players from those teams that are struggling. No, it is like when Bayern Munich told Borussia Dortmund, we'll always get your best players. Because you don't have the money. We have the money.
And you see, we have the clips running there, and I'm not a very happy man today because South Coast Pirates making their debut appearance. You guys are laughing at their debut appearance in the Kenya Cup. And the first season, actually, they've gone under. I would have loved to have a strong team from South Coast, basically, just to take the game there. The love for the 7s, the love for the 15s. But now, first season, back to default settings.
Those people who do not know Swila well, they have a lot of attachment to the game from the coast. How to,
which other things?
I know many things. So that's one for my knowledge. But
you know him well.
I know things from the coast. Yeah. That's why he's bleeding for South Coast. But can I put across a point that is important in this context about sponsorship? And I think it would be very sweet music for me when I hear the details of the sponsorship we alluded to concerning the Kenya Cup coming up, because what has been happening is that teams with very good talent, if they don't have money, they can't compete. I was looking at this team when they were coming up, and there was really joy that there is now a team in the top league from the coast, so that can be used as the hook for the sport in that region, which is good. But you see, when teams are struggling, even because of just doing the basics, then it means that it will be very difficult to compete with some of the top teams.
And that's what actually, sorry for cutting short, what Kianda was talking about. Look at the pitch they're using. It comes more as a primary school playground, and players become susceptible to injuries.
Even primary school deserve better.
And today, I want to speak directly to the potential sponsors in this country. Honestly, I don't know the kind of language you'll be speaking today if it is Harambee Stars that beat Argentina in the final, as it happened in the challenge the other day with our girls. I don't know what would be happening if it is Harambee Stars that beats South Africa, the way we did yesterday with the girls. So I think the product of rugby in this country is becoming bigger and bigger every day, that it should be attracting more than what we see today. I don't know where the gap is. We should be seeing, because look at the kind of support, like, for example, Kianda was talking about when it comes to Kabras in that side of Western Kenya. Even if they have a sponsor, there should be more than that. You understand? Not only for individual clubs, but even for the entire league. And that is the only disparity that we see. When some clubs are enjoying some good money, others do not have anything, then you expect they're going to go down. But also, talk about Mwamba, Swila, that as you cry about your South Coast, Pirates,
a giant, a team rich in history, actually. And Brenda came in here, but I'm happy my team in Kisumu RFC survived the Axe. That means we'll be having more rugby action there. Probably you can come in with that, Brenda.
I'll address you when time comes.
Okay. The point that before I lose it was the issue of having the infighting within the boardroom, rather, was we should not be seeing such, and especially in the reign of the Sports Act, because it was the Sports Act in Kenya was a result, or rather was a product of the continued infighting in all federations, because when you look across all these sports, anytime they are infighting, you'll find that the Sports Act directs you on what should have been done, and very little. If you just try and comply with the Sports Act, you'll have done away with all this infighting, because most of the time it's because of a bloated structure, management structure in the unions, or the issue of money, which again is what brings all this infighting. But you can solve this if you just comply and become accountable. So the moment there's accountability, the moment you have a lean structure, but also with people with the proper qualifications, you end up solving this. So as for the teams that are being relegated and the dominance of the Cabras and KCB on the top all the time, the issue is money, the issue is lack of proper scouting, which again all takes us back to money, because yes, you may have all this goodwill to scout properly, partner with the schools, but if you do not have money, then how are you approaching these schools for players? How are you approaching potential players for partnerships and all this if you do not have money? And we see the other teams continuing to suffer. But then we're not going to blame the big teams for getting organized and getting their own sponsorship and having their own money to enable them be dominant. It is upon now all other stakeholders to look at the potential that lies in these other teams, the Mwambas, the South Coasts. Menengai has the money, but is it to the tune of what Cabras are having and what KCB are having? No. So it is a call to all other corporates and even the government and also the management of these particular teams to secure on-source revenue in the form of maybe merchandising and all that, so that they are able to compete. Because at no point, even mikono zetu hazitoshani, at no point, but the moment you are in a league together, the assumption is you're equals. So for you to compete fairly, it is for you to make sure that you get your money and make yourself sellable, because again, sponsors are not going to come in on board without seeing results. Yeah.
Shetera, before we go to Sasha, probably wrap it up. I'm looking at the playoffs. Probably we can have the table on screen, but Oilers, basically KCB second. Now we're heading to the playoffs, and Oilers, Nondis, Harlequin, Blackblood, they all secured the playoff positions. How do you see that panning out? And of course, it's given by now, Cabra's going to take this home, but probably just the kind of matchup in this contest.
I think it's only Harlequins that gave Cabras a scare, I think, at the beginning of this year. And they led, I think, the first few minutes, and then they were overtaken. KCB, when they were dominating, I'll give an example of, I think, walikuwa bado wanatumia ndoo kwenda kuchota maji. At that time, I think Cabras were constructing a pipeline. So KCB are still using the bucket kuchota maji na kupeleka to various destinations, but Kabras ni kufungulia tu tap saa hizi, maji na mwagika. So I think that is what all these teams should emulate from Kabras. Kianda put it very clearly that they have tapped into very raw talent from Koyonzo, Musingu, Kakamega, Mukumu. So it is something that can be done.
Najua geography ya Western vizuri sana.
Najua vizuri. So even as we head into the playoffs, I think it's given that from the dominance Kabras have displayed, it's very difficult for them to be shattered. And you can only borrow a leaf from them. What did Kabras do that is really propelling them to win back-to-back titles? So Menengai Oilers, they might have the money, but are they investing it in the right way? So let them copy what Kabras are doing. KCB nilikueleza, when they were dominating, nile wakati bado walikuwa nachota maji kwa ndoo. They forgot that for you to have continuity, you need to put up a pipeline. Absolutely. They did not do it.
Real quick.
Let me correct Chitera kidogo.
Make it very brief. We have to move to the interview.
Menengai are very good side.
But they are not winning.
No. They're the only team that can challenge Kabras and the KCB.
Have they? And
they challenged KCB this season big time. Even the right derby, if you watched it, they gave Kabras a run for their money.
But have they?
What makes Kabras a stronger team is most of their players are playing for the Simba. They're playing for Kenya Sevens, Shuja. They're getting more exposure outside the country. That makes them...
Because they are tapping the right talent.
We have to
That's what
I'm saying. Don't rule out Menengai.
We need to give KCB their flowers here, honestly. I realize that people have been very hard on KCB today. In fact, if you ask me, in this season, the gap has narrowed.
Actually, it's 2 points after the end of regular season.
Compared with the other one. And I listened to Oliver Mangeni when he was speaking, and he was saying that we are meeting them again in the Enterprise. You understand? Final.
Semis.
And then, of course, there will be, after the players go now, the players are out there. They will be meeting again, probably in the final. So we must not shout a lot here about Kabras. Anything is possible. When you look at the gap we saw in the weekend match, not that big. So still we need to appreciate that KCB is there. Otherwise, with the kind of investment that Kabras has, if KCB were doing nothing, for sure, the gap would have been like
much bigger.
So we need to appreciate that also they are doing something.